Hey, hello guys. In this video also, we are going to see about if else with more variation. So we have seen about if else in two sections like if else part 1 and if else part 2 and now it is if else part 3. You may ask a question why if else is getting too long because if else is one of the most important topic in Python, so that I am making you to understand if else properly. So to see that, let's create a new file if else part 3. I am creating if else part 3. You can create whatever you want. Create a variable a and a is equal to, let's assume a common value like 50. And now let's open a if condition. If a is greater than 50, print a is greater than 50 inside double apostrophe. Then come to the next line, open another if a less than 50, close the condition and come to the next line and print a is lesser than 50. So here you may get some doubt. So how many ifs can we give? We can give many number of if as much as we want. And whenever we open if statement, there is no necessary that we should use an else. If the program doesn't need an else condition, there is no need of using else. If the program only needs an if condition, we can use as many if like we wanted. And here I am using another if condition like if a double equal to 50, print it is equal to 50. So once you have typed the code, run the code and see the output, like we get the output as it is equal to 15 because since we gave the value 50 in A, now let's change the 50 into 60 and now let's print the code. We get the output as A is greater than 50 because 60 is greater than 50. So the first if condition works here. So now let's change the value from 60 to 40 and now let's see the output like A is lesser than 50 because now the second if part runs so that we get the value as 40 because we give the condition like if A is lesser than 50, print A is lesser than 50. So of course 40 is lesser than 50. So we get the output as A is lesser than 50. So I hope you guys understand what happens here. But even so, if the program runs properly without any errors, but still, even this is not a proper method because there are 3 if statements, right? Even though if a if condition gets satisfied by the condition, the program will check every if condition. So it is really taking the time and space of the program. So we need to make sure that we did the same thing in a professional and the proper way. So that instead of if, we are going to use elif condition. Similarly, it is same, but it is the proper way to compare different types of conditions. If the elif function gets satisfied, it won't see or check the other condition. But instead of elif, if we give if condition, it will check every single condition even though it gets satisfied. So to make the program faster and sharper, we are using elif. So now let's run the code and see the output. We get the same output. It is correct. Yes, 40 is lesser than 50. So it's literally same, but this is the proper and a professional method that you should use. In further programs, when there is more than 20, 50 or more than 100 lines of code, so that time it is best to use elif instead of using if, and especially while there are more than 2 or 3 conditions. So it is the best way to practice elif function. Now here is a small task for you. Get 2 numbers as a user input and find the maximum of 2 numbers using if and elif conditions. So if you don't need to use else condition, you can use only if and elif. Pause the video and try the code by yourself. So I hope you guys try out the task which I have given to you. So now let me erase this code and let me do the code for you. Let me create a variable a input. Now I'm asking for user input. To check 2 numbers, we need one more variable, right? So let me create b int input. So to check the 2 numbers which is maximum, let's use a if condition. If a greater than b, then colon print in double apostrophe a is greater than b. So come out to the next line, and instead of using else, let's use elif function and write another condition like if elif b greater than a, colon, come to the next line and print b is greater than a. So it's really simple. We instead of using else function, we use elif function. there is no necessary that we should always use an else function. Or the code has been completed, just run the code and see the output. Like the program is asking for us for an input. So let's give a value as 5 for A and 9 for B. So literally B is greater than A because the second value is B, the first value is A. And let's print the code again, and now let's give 2 for A and 6 for B. So now also we give the second value is larger because second value is B. So B is greater than A. Now let's print the code, and let's give a big value for A this time, like let's give 8 for A and 2 for B. So now the A value is greater than B. So I hope you guys understand what happened here. So this is how we print the maximum of two numbers. So here is a small task for you, and try this question. Write a program that asks for user input to a number. The number is a positive, print the number is positive. If it is negative, print the number is negative. If the number is 0, print it is equal to 0. It is a really simple program. Pause the video and try it by yourself. So I hope you guys do that by yourself. But even so, let me do this once again for you, so that if you have any questions or doubts, you may get clarified. So to do that, let's create a variable name A and make it as a user input, like input, open bracket and close it. After that, let's form condition. If A equal to 0, then colon, print A is equal to 0. Then followed by the if condition, let's create a elif condition. If, actually in question, they ask that if the number is negative, we need to print negative. So how to say if the number is negative? For example, the numbers which are after the 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever, maybe everything is normal numbers, and numbers which are less than 0, like -1, -2, everything is a negative number, so that we can give negative numbers in that way. So we are making that to find the negative numbers, the number should be less than 0, right? So if A is less than 0, then print A is lesser than 0. Sorry. We need to print it is a negative number, right? It is a negative number. Here we have made two conditions, like if the number is equal to 0, print A is equal to 0. And if the number is lesser than 0, of course it is a negative number. So it is a negative number. So of course, the number which is not a negative number and not a 0 should be a normal number. We can write condition like elif and A is greater than 0, it is a normal or a positive number. But instead of that, we can also use else here. So both are same. I am using else. Else. So else, print it is a positive number. So I hope you guys understand what happened here. So let me run the code. So I'm running the code. New Python file. The program is asking for an input. So let's give input like 6. We get a like, yes, it is a positive number because it is not equal to 0. It is not a negative number. So the both condition doesn't get satisfied. So we get the else conditions value. Let's run the code again. Let's give another value like -5. We get the values. It is a negative number because it is lesser than 0. So it is a negative number. Our program gets satisfied and all conditions work properly. So this is how we use if, elif and else to make many operations. So I hope you guys understand this concept. So try more examples and more tasks by yourself so that you can get used to if, elif and else. So see you guys in another video. Thank you.